Experts from across the globe are meeting in Germany to discuss how to deal with the threat of space junk. They say the growing amount of debris in orbit around the Earth is putting global communications at risk and could have disastrous consequences. Emma Hayward met a team of British scientists who say they found a way to clean it up.
The space junk is a growing problem. NASA estimates there are 22,000 bits orbiting the Earth that are the size of a cricket ball and 500,000 the size of a marble. And even a marble travelling at that kind of speed is going to do a lot of damage to a satellite. Back in 2009, 2 satellites collided with catastrophic consequences, and every few months the astronauts need to climb into their escape pod because of some threat of space debris. Now, here at Astrium, they've come up with the idea of this. This is the space harpoon. They've got a test rig here in Stevenage, and we're joined by Dr. Jamie Reed, who's going to fire it for us. If I give that to you, and you can load up the gun, while you tell us how this gun works.
Okay. So this is a compressed gas gun. What we do is we load the harpoon in here, like so, and then we obviously put our safety goggles on, safety first. And what we'll do now is we'll just do a test firing.
So you fire it, you're arming the
That's
gun.
Right, so arming the gun here. It's all compressed and ready to go. So 3, 2, 1.
Jamie, that was quite a bang. How would that actually work in space then?
So in space, the harpoon looks like this. Basically, it has some barbs at the front, a crushable section here, and the gas gun rod here, and this would have a tether attached to it, and we'd fire this from a mother spacecraft from about 10 metres. It would go through the skin of the target, it would crush, the barbs would open, and then what we'd do is we'd pull on that tether and drag the object back into the atmosphere where it would burn up safely.
And this is the key point, is that we know that defunct satellites, they run out of steam and they do come down to Earth at some point. The problem at the moment is we don't know where or when.
That's right. When objects come back to Earth, they come back in an uncontrolled fashion, which means that they could come back to the ground almost anywhere on the globe. We've seen this in the past. Luckily nobody's been hurt so far, but the advantage of our system is it allows us to put the objects into the unpopulated regions like the South Pacific. Well,
Skylab came down in the Australian desert, but that was quite close. And as we send up more material, more of it's going to come down at some point.
That's right. There's a lot of stuff up there already which could come back, in fact will come back, and new satellites will pose a threat to future satellites. So it's something we have to do now, and something we have to address.
A space harpoon, that sounds a very Heath Robinson way of going about things, though. Is this a serious idea of snaring this material?
Absolutely. The advantage of the space harpoon is that it's very simple in many ways, although the engineering to get it into space is quite complex. It's basically a very robust and very reliable method, and that's why we're interested, because we absolutely mustn't create any more debris, and we must have something which is very safe. And that's the reason we've chosen the space harpoon.
There are other ideas of nets and so on to try and snare the smaller bits. So this is a serious problem for space scientists meeting at the European Space Agency this week.
That's right. It's because of this collision in 2009, it's really raised the awareness in the community that we've basically polluted the Earth atmosphere, the Earth orbits, and now we need to do something about it. So everybody's very positive
one big clean-up job to be done. You can tell that this is a man who really enjoys his job.